Yo, what is going on, guys? Savage here. Today we're going to be going over 7 must-have Warzone tips in order to get better at the game. Now, I've been putting out a few videos on tips and tricks, and there's been a lot of positive feedback in the comment section. I'm actually going to be taking some of the questions in the comment section and putting them in this video as well. So if you guys have any questions on what to do in certain situations, make sure you leave a comment in the section below, and I will get to it in the next video. Now, there's only so many tips and tricks videos that I can put out. There's only so many things you can do in this game to improve as a player. However, strategy is ever growing and it's very broad, especially as the map changes, as we get new maps, as weapons change, things like that. So hopefully I can keep this content coming to you guys. I will make this a series as long as I can. All this gameplay that you're seeing is going to be related to the video, and it also comes from my Twitch streams where we stream live 6 days a week. If you guys haven't already, make sure you follow me on Twitch. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below. And guys, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up on it. Let's get to 200 likes. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. All right, so number one, and I see this happen way too many times, and this is a very simple thing. All you got to do is be aware of it, and it's an easy fix. And this is something I see too many people do, whether I'm spectating on the kill cam, whether it's a teammate that I'm spectating because I just lost my gulag or I just died again, or whether I'm watching a streamer. I see this happen way too many times, and you have got to avoid this. But our number one tip is going to be stop repeaking the same area. This is a must. As soon as you peek, they can pre-fire you, and they can absolutely obliterate your head. So when you're fighting a target, what you want to do is, of course, you're going to peek the target and shoot at him as he's putting shots on you and you're putting shots on him. You got to unpeek, put some plates on. What you want to do is try to find a different area to peek to. Now, sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes you're stuck behind a rock. You can only go left, right, peek over it. Sometimes you're just in a position where you can't do this. And what I recommend is just trying to find a different piece of cover to jump to and start repeaking different areas. Confuse the enemy. The last thing you want to do is peek the right side, peek the right side, peek the right side, because eventually he's going to blow your head off because you become a broken record, and now he's going to predict your next move. Some players are already preparing for you to peek at a different location. However, most players, 9 out of the 10 times you're going to peek, are only going to be focused on the place you last peeked. All right, guys, our second tip, and this is very, very simple, and we've kind of touched on this before, but I've never gone super in depth with it. This is something I learned from PUBG, and PUBG was a massive map, just like Warzone. We had to use trees and rocks and buildings as cover as you're navigating the map. I see way too many times people just going out in the open to run from point A to point B. Now, there are some places in the map you have no choice, airfield, and there's a lot of areas out in the woods that just have this wide open area, and there's nothing you can do about that. However, use some form of cover, even if it's concealment. And we'll get into the difference between cover and concealment here in a second, but you always want to stay something that can visually impair you from the enemy. Now, cover versus concealment. Concealment is something that hides you from the enemy. However, they shoot that object that you're hiding behind, it will hurt you and possibly kill you. It is better to hide in something that will conceal you than just stand in the open and run out into nowhere. So you always want to focus on, as you're navigating the map, you want to be aware of what cover you can get to. If you have no cover close and you're getting shot at, find the nearest concealment object. That's a bush, sometimes vehicles. Some of the vehicles you can shoot through. So I really wouldn't call that hard cover. I'd call that concealment. Things of that nature, tents, things like that. Most people, when they're navigating the map, they don't really think about where they're going. They just tunnel vision on their destination and they just go in a straight line. You always want to use ridges, hills, bushes, trees, tents, vehicles, buildings to your advantage. Always be aware of that when you're navigating the map. Also, when you're running, guys, don't look at where you're trying to go. Look at everything around you. People are everywhere, always. This game is all about third party and fourth party and fifth party. It's about getting shot in the back. Do not fall into the trap of just tunnel visioning on your destination and not worried about what's around you. I see way too many times when I'm shooting at targets, they're running in the open, no cover, no concealment. They're not even looking around. They're just in a straight line heading to a straight object. That is the easiest target to shoot. All right, guys, so if you have no choice, if you have no cover, if you have no concealment, if you just can't do anything and you're out in the open, if there's nothing you can do, zigzag. And I know this is kind of basic for a lot of you guys, but a lot of you guys don't do this. Trust me, because I kill you. I honestly love when people run in a straight line. I have a better time at shooting people who are moving in a straight line than sitting still. If you cannot get to cover, if there's nothing around you, zigzag, serpentine, do not make it predictable. Don't just go left, right, left, right, left, right, because a skilled player is going to just sit there and anticipate you to go right again. Now, while you're zigzagging, you still want to move to your objective. Still have that game plan in your head of getting to point B, but just make it a little harder for the enemies. All right, now going back to peeking targets, slow peeking. This is going to be tip 3. Do not slow peek. There is no benefit to slow peeking. I see a lot of times, and sometimes I'm a little guilty of this as well, but I see so many times people will ADS and then they'll peek a corner. Don't do that, because as soon as you peek the corner, you're going to get annihilated. You want to surprise the enemy. Do not give them any extra time to switch the place they're ADS'd on. Another tip around peeking, guys, is fake peek. Fake peeking is a great strategy. Say you're behind a rock and you're peeking the right side and you're shooting the enemy, all are trading plates and stuff, and then you hide behind the rock, you're replating, and then you want to peek the left side, but you want to throw the enemy off. So basically just hit a little right peek real quick, just right left. That way he sees you, he'll shoot a bullet, and then as soon as he shoots, you want to peek the left side, especially when it's sniper versus sniper. And this is going to go more into my sniping tips video, but when it's sniper versus sniper, you want him to shoot that bullet. Fake peeking is beautiful, because if you fake peek and he shoots that bullet and falls for that, you can now pop out a different angle and headshot that son of a bitch. All right, guys, tip number 4 is going to be shooting too soon. Yes, there is a thing called shooting too soon. I'm a firm believer in, if you don't take the shot, you miss the shot, right? 100% of shots you don't take, you miss. However, there's also a thing called strategy. If someone's running close to a building, let's say he's 5 feet from a doorway and you know he's about to run into the building, don't shoot that target, because he is too close to actually be able to hit and down and execute. Even if you do get lucky enough to down him, he's going to get rezzed by his teammates, and now his entire team knows exactly where you're at. Don't give away your position, guys. What you're better off doing in a situation like that, if an enemy's running to a building, is just pushing the building slowly, flanking around it, and then just collapsing on it at the same time. Another thing is too, and I see my teammates do it on the regular, and I see other players do it, and sometimes I myself do the same thing. You're running around, you see another player, and you don't really think about his team. You just think about him. You see one guy and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna blaze him down. And what happens half the time? You start to shoot at this guy and you might down him, but the next thing you know, all the buildings you're around, 4 people stick their heads out and they just blaze you into oblivion. Guys, always be aware of where the enemy team is located at. If you only see one guy, wait for your team to come around, wait for your team to back you up, and then start trying to figure out where everyone's at and then shoot at them. You do not want to sacrifice your life for 1 kill. Despite the contrary belief, guys, this is not a game about KD. Even if you want a good KD, there's still strategy behind this game. Don't trade for kills. Don't kill somebody and put yourself in a position where you're killed too, so now it's a 3v3 fight. You've lost the edge, you've lost the advantage. Now, on the complete flip side of that, here is tip 5, and that is not shooting enough. You're probably sitting back like, what? You just told me to stop shooting as much, and now you're telling me I don't shoot enough. What the hell is going on? Well, guys, this is mostly going to be for snipers more than anything. And again, I'm going to make a snipers video, but I'm going to throw this in here just in case. When you're sniping, a lot of people want to get that perfect headshot, but that's not always necessary, mostly because the chance of hitting that perfect headshot for most average players is very, very slim. So a lot of times I'm spectating players and, you know, they see somebody falling in from the sky and parachuting. They don't even attempt to shoot at it. They see a helicopter flying by. They don't even attempt to snipe them. They see a vehicle driving by. They don't even attempt to snipe them. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten kills from people in vehicles falling from the sky that just not only make me look like an absolute legend, but I'm surprised myself because I was just shooting shots and I got lucky enough to hit them. Don't worry about your ammo. The problem with sniper, and I think this is for a lot of us, is it psychologically fucks us up. We look at it, we have somewhere around 40 bullets. We're like, well, I only got 40 bullets. I don't want to waste my bullets shooting at a guy I might not kill. The best feeling as a sniper is getting that impossible shot. So just take a shot every time you can. And another reason to always take your shots as a sniper is for practice reasons. How are you gonna get better as a sniper? How are you gonna figure out how to lead a target? How are you gonna get that muscle memory with a sniper rifle if you don't shoot enough? And again, I know this contradicts what I just said in the previous tip, but this is mostly for snipers, because when you're sniping and you're shooting an AR and SMG, it's 2 different worlds, it's 2 different skill types, it's 2 different strategies. Another thing, watching the enemy too long. Dudes, look, again, as a sniper, don't just watch the enemy run. If you want to try to line up that perfect headshot, by all means, but if it's taking you too long, just start shooting, just start popping shots, because the time it could take you to get the perfect headshot, you could have literally already shot your sniper rifle 4 times and blitzed the shit out of them. Do not lose the opportunity to kill a target just because you're trying to get a perfect, easy headshot. Is the #1 mistake I see from snipers. Tip 6 is going to be panic running. I see this shit all the time. I see it all the time. Now, if you want to rewind to my staying towards cover and what do you do if you're out in the open, you serpentine, go left, right, confuse the enemy. That's different. Panic running is not just, you know, running side to side, trying not to get hit. Panic running is running in a circle, not knowing where the enemy's at, and just kind of freaking the fuck out and just running around and shooting at nothing. I see it a lot of times. I'll be ADS on a target and I'll be shooting at him and I'll just see him just do the craziest thing. He'll go prone, he'll start kneeling, he'll start hiding behind bushes and trees and stuff. But the problem is he hides on the wrong side of the cover and the concealment. He doesn't really take the time to think, where am I getting shot from? He doesn't take the time to think, where do I need to go? He doesn't take the time to think, what does this guy have? Can I even try to challenge him? Guys, even when you're getting shot at, think about the situation. Most of the time, there's a way to outplay the enemy. All right, guys, the last one, and this is my biggest pet peeve, and we've talked about this in previous videos a couple of times, and I talk about this every day on stream. Tunnel vision. The last and final tip, #7, is tunnel vision, and this should be the most common sense one. However, it is not. I see people doing this shit on the daily. Great players, average players, shitty players, doesn't matter. Everyone's guilty of it at some point. You need to be aware of the totality of the fight. What I mean by that is you need to be aware of the big picture. you have to be aware of where the circle's at, where you're at on the map, who's got the high ground. Are there buildings around? Are there players nearby on the radar that you're not paying attention to? Is your team fighting a whole nother team while you're trying to push a solo? You need to actually start utilizing your brain to analyze the mini map while you're playing, use comms to identify where your team's at and what their plans are, and then act accordingly. I see a lot of times people will be shooting and they get so tunnel vision, they won't hear their teammates call outs. Just because you're shooting at an enemy and you're winning the fight, if a teammate's calling out, hey, there's a guy behind you, you've got to open up your hearing and you got to be aware of that. And just don't be afraid to bail from the target you're shooting at to protect your own life. The whole object of battle royales is survival, not your kill count, not things like that, not getting more money and getting more kill streaks. You want to survive. So why are you going to put yourself in position to shoot at somebody, tunnel on that one dude you're shooting, and then get shot in the back from Billy Joe, who just happened to be camping in the building behind you? Callouts are a must. And we talked about this in our last video, and I'll link it below on how to be a better teammate. Callouts are a must. If your teammate's calling out a different play and you're not agreeing with it, regardless if all three of them are over there, you need to fall the fuck back and get to them as soon as possible. Guys, again, I want to make this series as long as possible and do as many videos on this as possible. I want to help everybody get better at this game, and in return, I kind of want to learn from my own mistakes as well. So the more information I find out, the more I will address it for you guys, and we can kind of go through this together. If you guys have any questions, if there's been a situation that I didn't cover in this video that you have a question about of how you could have handled that situation better, please ask me in the comment section below. But guys, I really hope this video helps you out in any way, form, or fashion. If it did, please leave a like on the video. Also, comment in the section below all the stuff I've asked you to comment. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, brothers. Yo, guys, what's going on? I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you follow us on Twitch. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you guys want some more content, man, check out one of these videos. I'm sure they're dope as fuck. Not sure what they are. YouTube, what's that one? And what is that one? I don't know. Click it and find out. But guys, follow us on Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next video, boys. Peace.